Hey, so sometimes I wonder say, oh father for and again I say would you padi and because the case of Atoforson and then Richard Jakpa, the first accused and the third accused, almost same way in one. I can't call you be Atoforson on the other hand is trying the possible best, say I same way by the end of this year. Now same way to each. The third accused also on the other hand, and try the possible best say by the end of this year. Now same way yeah that's what kind of court. And then Sisiano and rather 18th of June 2024 a cross examinations be a course so court and a course so Sisiano 68 new cases and yasenya a diabo a Richard Jakpa and then the people some and some yes and na I was cross examination or some lawyers together with the Attorney General and on my but your one Attorney General able record say there be cross examination we don't want obey because over some questions there was a bisa Richard Jakpa it's obisa no na conversation no mumu no having no negative interested and sometimes no cause atinti wo ho e ma can same bebre and then on no one and can send baby send my whole be brave. It's we and our judge what's not same ways with the presiding judge, Justice Afia, say what Saribuchi. Cause oh. It's all this time, no name says I same way issue. I don't know one can answer same ways one and for once and for all. I don't know one can answer same ways once and for all. But what's in that case with and yet a year Attorney General your board that mean a baby sour and think I same way that's issue. So therefore, Anka, so you're saying another 68 cases is a year Richard Jakpa. And this is out of force and therefore I'm even tired for a year to force because on one mono when no papa because end this for the anymore mama you're very anymore. And come court trials we and come be fair press conference but and not done no this for row almost say ow Richard one trial my this for crack I was for how I ordinary TV mess also be subscribe to ordinary TV be like you be comment your comment section yes I'll be clicking the notification button for more news updates check on equity message but that's
WhatsApp messages ahodo nsem a Richard Jakpa ekekan ye and ne aba betena court editroni nyina no the office of the learned attorney general through deputy attorney general Afia Yeboah and director of public prosecutions Yvonne Atakra Obubisa and ne no to Jakpa no omo submit ye edema ye mama Justice Afia sewa asaributwe na submit bi na ebusa Jakpa se Jakpa 68 WhatsApp messages any dia be you dia asem na wo ho ka oti hodi asem otimi kan ya ne say I brought the relevant portions of my conversation with the Attorney General that will make my case it na just odo no pe no ene oyiyi free me de ba ye nti Attorney General edi 68 number unim 68 na ho ye be kwatia no but no de no ohwa e be boa no ama na asem aye de court ena obabe gina court edi etudwa ema Ghana fo nyina etie ana yese busan say inti DNT na wo yi 68 messages free man ya wo pen na de betudwa na Jakpa say I brought the relevant portions of my conversations with the Attorney General and on edi kan no say I took his number from my cousin Justice Kolendi and sent him a message since he didn't know that I had his number inti through some comedy no and no submit yes how no text message Jakpa if you said now this is another thing I'll say the WhatsApp conversation was between the Attorney General and myself. He is at liberty to bring other portions that he feels will discredit what I have put here. The audacity of Richard Jakpa. Now they say 68 WhatsApp messages have been tendered in court by the office of the Attorney General. En common nkasa Japan no dey kan send ye na no lawyer pona do mo kire di betudwa no ni nyina ababa bededi. Now the Deputy Attorney General Afia Yeboah will appear every court and wodi nsem etudwa live from proceedings in Siko. Omienko ni nkonkotie.
Yeah, what do you make of Richard Jakpa's testimony today?
You've seen the character of Richard Jakpa, saying that he was dismissed from the military.
We are doing a cross-examination, and that forms part of our cross-examination. And what you just heard is what you just said.
How difficult have you found Richard Jakpa to be in the witness box?
You were in court. You witnessed it. Make your own judgment.
At a point, DPP appeared to be frustrated with some of the answers Richard Jakpa was giving. You were in your seat. How did you feel?
She wasn't frustrated. She did a yeoman's job.
Now, from the answers from the accused person, are you surprised with them, especially so when you're asking one question and taking about 4 pages to answer a question? Are you surprised?
I think you pass your own judgment.
So the AG has come back to court today. I saw him passing questions to the DPP, mentioning questions to the DPP to ask Jakpa. Has he defied the directive by this trial judge, and now he's taking part of the ongoing trial, you would say?
Let me make this correction. There was no directive from the trial judge.
The advice.
Exactly. Advice, you watch out the space, whether the AG will stand to conduct the case or will observe the proceedings.
But technically,
right, just like you, to be in court, observe proceedings. As to whether you conduct the case, leave the space unless you have.
But technically, he is asking questions because he was passing questions to the DPP, dictating questions for her to ask Jakpa. That is technically taking part of.
He wasn't dictating questions to the DPP to ask. But if you are even a litigant in court, and you are subject matter of a certain litigation, don't you reserve the right to be in court? Even if AG was the one being prosecuted, he has the right to be in court. And so today he came to court to observe proceedings, as you came to do.
But it's beyond observing.
By the accused person, seeking to at least have the AG in what he wants to describe as a cross-examination of a sort, seeking to...
I think he was properly answered by the presiding judge, and I'll make no further comment. You were in court and you heard the comments.
From what you say to the Attorney General, do you feel the sense that he would love the opportunity to cross-examine Richard Jakpa himself?
You wait until we get to the end of the proceedings. If you come, you know. If you don't come, you also know.
Is it the case of the state that Richard Jakpa, by the documents that he put before the court, did not give the entirety of the conversations that went on between him and the Attorney General, and what his lawyers have been pushing is really not what happened?
You were in court. Jakpa tendered some documents in respect of the chat. We also are going to tender the full complement of the chat. And that's what we are seeking to do.
And you think the full complement is going to help your case?
Wait until we get there.
Because it appears he's now bringing in new stories that were not part of what they've tendered into evidence.
Don't be disturbed by that. You will handle everything in court.
Thank you very much.
And that was a reaction from the Attorney General's department, and that was the Deputy Attorney General, Afia reaction after today's hearing, where the AG had the opportunity to cross-examine Richard Jakpa. The cross-examination will continue on Thursday. And I'm guessing that Latif Idris was in court for us today. So, Latif, so on Thursday, that will end everything, because I know that the first accused, Dr. Atufosim, he's already closed his case.
Yep.
The case, the state also closed his case.
Yeah.
It was left with Jakpa to be cross-examined. So after the cross-examination by the Attorney General on Thursday, will that bring everything to an end for the judge to now decide, the merits and then pass judgments in the day that she will set?
No. So what is going to happen after Richard Jakpa? There is yet another person that will be cross-examined, and this is Big C, the Big C people. Okay. They are the main
company that was to supply
with the government of Ghana to supply the ambulance. Richard Jakpa is
their local
agent. So they will also be cross-examined, and so Richard Jakpa's cross-examination wouldn't end
the matter.
Trial.
Okay. Yeah. Now today, let's start from the onset. Before the court was called into section, we understand that the Deputy Attorney General had concerns with what he claims to be somebody who had recorded proceedings of last Thursday and was circulating the audio recording on WhatsApp. Tell us about it.
Yeah, correct. So this was when
after Richard Jakpa was made to mount the witness box to be cross-examined by the Director of Public Prosecution. And then Afia Abua rose and put before the trial judge that this is what he has found, that there's been a circulation of portion of Thursday's proceedings in court, which is being circulated on some audio, which is being circulated on some WhatsApp platforms. And so he wanted the trial judge to take cognizance of that and then take the necessary action, if you like. Then she found it very problematic because she said it's prohibited for anyone to record the proceedings in court. In fact, the journalists who sit through proceedings have been told that it is not allowed, it is prohibited to record proceedings in court. So she found it to be problematic. Quickly, she called the leadership, and I'm talking about the lead counsel for Keselato Forcing, lead counsel for Richard Jakpa, and the prosecution into a conclave. And it took a little longer than we expected. We thought it was going to be like some 10 minutes meeting, but then it went on for like 20 minutes. Now, when they came back, the trial judge issued a warning and asked that national security should take up the issue, investigate and get to the bottom of whoever recorded that proceedings. And once investigations is done, we know the outcome of it. It means if you are found,
obviously you'll be in contempt of court.
Exactly. You are going to be dealt with. She said if it continues again, she will be forced to take additional stringent measures, which would be that the rest of the proceedings or the trial will be held in camera.
Meaning only the lawyers and their clients will be in court.
Will be in court to, if it continues. But now she has asked National Security to take up any...
But did the Deputy Attorney General provide any name as to the one behind the circulation of this audio recording of the court proceedings on Thursday?
For those of us who sat in open court, who didn't join the conclave, we were unable to tell whether or not at that meeting in chambers, the Deputy AG mentioned names or not. We do not know. All we know is that they went in there to verify the claim that had been made by the Deputy Attorney General, after which the judge issued this directive for National Security to investigate and also issue the warning that if it continues, she will be left with no option than to hold the rest of the proceedings in camera.
And then before the cross-examination started, the Attorney General himself, Godfrey Odame, walked into the court.
Yeah. So
but he didn't do the cross-examination.
Yes, he didn't do the cross-examination. For the last two sittings, if I'm right, he didn't show up in court. And so there was this rumor that, okay, he has now taken the advice of this trial judge. Today, he showed up, took his seat, but then he didn't do the cross-examination, even though he was conferring with the Deputy Attorney General, whilst the Director of Public Prosecution was on her feet questioning Richard Jakpa. He didn't directly cross-examine, the third accused.
So now, let's get to the meat of the matter. The first issues that came up, one of them had to do with whether Jakpa was sacked from the Ghana Armed Forces and whether he failed his promotion exams.
Correct. So this question, you see the question he just asked?
And a yes or no answer that was required.
Yes or no answer. It took 4 pages. And I think it went even beyond 4 pages. Answer by Richard Jakpa. So that was the question. Mr. Jakpa, you failed your promotion exams in 2000. I don't recall the exact year. I think it was 2000 or so. Then Richard Jakpa said that will be inaccurate. And then he went on and on with explanation. So let me just run us through a bit of the explanation that he came up with. He mentioned to the court that he was commissioned into the Ghana Armed Forces in 1998 as a regular career corps intake 38 and was not dismissed but was released honorably. Those were his words. He was released honorably by the Ghana Armed Forces. So he went back to when Adokufo was then Minister of Defense.
And this will be President Kufuor's era.
And that the minister had visited Sunyani, where he was in charge of a whole unit. A unit Richard Jakpa claims could only be headed by a major, someone who has the rank of a major in the Ghana Army. He wasn't a major, but he was heading that unit.
So, he was heading the 3BN as a commanding officer.
a unit that's supposed to be headed by a major.
Not a unit, it's actually a whole 3BN is the 3 Infantry Battalion based in Sunyane.
Yeah.
Yes.
He made this case and many other cases to suggest to the prosecution that he is not that dumb to fail an